This year has been a godsend for the survival horror genre. Two amazing franchises have made a triumphant return, with the likes of Dead Space and Resident Evil. The latter was resurrected from the success of RE7, a return to form experience that was really needed after the action-packed crisis that the original Resident Evil 4 started, following with 5 and then reaching its end at 6. Since then, we've had 2 remakes of the original trilogy, a sequel to 7, and more to be planned in the future. The Dead Space remake was so faithful to the original game that sometimes I even forgot that it was a remake to begin with, besides the graphics. Its success will hopefully bring the series back on track because it was one of my favorite horror franchises for a long while. I've been playing through the RE4 remake as well as everybody at the moment, and would love to talk about this game eventually. But for the moment, I've also been looking through the pond of Resident Evil and Silent Hill clones, since the remake has rekindled my interest in horror games once more. Today I have here what is essentially a demo I found on itch.io called BioCrisis, made by Spiner. BioCrisis is a short but faithful recreation of the first 3 Resident Evil games, giving you fixed camera angles, tank controls, item management, biohazard threats, and picturesque backdrops. If you've come from the 90s era of survival horror games like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Alone in the Dark, then you'll feel right at home with this one. Like its inspiration, your character finds themselves in the middle of an outbreak full of zombies and other grotesque monstrosities. You find your first zombie and have no way to fight back, but soon after you run past him you find a gun, and in this demo it's your only weapon. You also have canned food which acts as a source of healing. From there you make your way out, finding key items and fighting the zombies off your back in order to get from one place to the next. Story-wise, there isn't much to say here, other than that you are looking for a little girl, shown by the photo in your inventory slot, whilst trying to survive from the ongoing situation. But I could imagine that if the game turned into a full release, then it would end up having a similar story to the Resident Evil series. The controls feel old school, but not too clunky at the same time. The tank style movement is something that can be difficult and possibly a deal breaker for some people that are used to the modern controls of the recent Resident Evil releases. But it also has its charm due to it being an echo of old school gameplay design in the survival horror genre, and the creator behind this game has done a fantastic job on that note. Graphically, it's what you would expect from a PS1 inspired game, although I will say the environments here are really good. Each part of the demo has this subtle atmosphere that the first 3 Resident Evil games were blessed with. Oddly comforting and inviting, but also incredibly dangerous given the context of the situation. The environments of the cafe, the swimming pool area, and the change rooms where the save room style music kicks in are layered quite nicely here. Now I will say, I'm not 100% sure if this game will ever be finished, since it was a project made for the 32-bit spring cleaning game jam, and to mark the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil franchise at the time of this demo's release. But this game also has a great deal of potential to go even further with its ideas, even if it does end up still being a Resident Evil clone at the end of the day. Spiner has done a great job of recreating the memory of the first 3 Resident Evil games, with identical tank controls, atmosphere, and fixed cameras. I'll provide a link in the description so that you can check this demo out. I'll be sure to find more of these games and eventually cover them. And I'll also have some brainstorming ideas for a new Resident Evil game that I would love to share with you in another video. Thank you for watching.